I'm Elishama Jepphunee Dunton with my co-researcher Ervin Isogon, and the title of our research is Spiral Progression Approach, Adherence of Mapeh Teachers, Basis for the Development of Teachers in Service Training Program. The Department of Education discussion paper on the Enhanced K-12 Basic Education Program stated that the need to enhance the quality of basic education program is urgent and critical. Thus, the agency came up with a proposal to enhance the country's basic education program in a manner that is least disruptive to the current curriculum, is most affordable to government and families, and is aligned with international practice. The goal of the Enhanced Basic Education Program is to create a functional basic education system that will produce productive and responsible citizens equipped with essential competencies and skills for both lifelong learning and employment. Martin defined progression as a thing that describes pupils' personal journeys through education and ways in which they acquire, apply, develop their skills, knowledge, and understanding in increasingly challenging situations. On the other hand, Zulweta stated that this approach refers to the choosing and defining of the content of a certain discipline to be taught using prevalent ideas against traditional practice of determining content by isolated topics. Spiral progression approach is very important in teaching music, arts, physical education, and health. Most Mapeh teachers are aware of this approach, but do they adhere to its implementation? Are they making their learners excellent in their academic performance? Thus, this study. Theoretical framework. This study is anchored on the following theories. First, experiential learning theory. Second, constructivism. Experiential learning theory is related to John Dewey's discovery learning, learning by doing. The learner is engaged in an activity experienced according to his interest, learner-centered. While constructivism is anchored in John Dewey's concept about learning holistic approach. Jerome Bruner's spiral progression approach asserts that in order to master certain skills, the learner must be repeatedly exposed to the same concepts with deepening complexity, progressive manner. Here is the paradigm of the study showing the relationship among the variables of the study. Statement of the problem and hypothesis. Number 1. What is the extent of Mapeh teachers' adherence to spiral progression approach when they are taken as entire group and classified according to length of service and highest educational attainment? 2. Is there any significant difference in the extent of Mapeh teachers' adherence to spiral progression approach when they are classified according to length of service and highest educational attainment? 3. What are the factors that influence the implementation of spiral progression approach of teachers in teaching Mapeh? 4. What in-service training enhancement can be derived from the study? For the respondents of the study, in the quantitative group, 88 randomly selected Mapeh teachers from 1st District of Capiz, while qualitative group, 9 purposively selected Mapeh teachers of the qualitative group selected according to their length of service and highest educational attainment. For the data gathering instrument, a researcher made questionnaire checklist and it was pilot tested among a group of Mapeh teachers in another district of Capiz. On the next slide is the procedure and the conduct of the research. First, the researchers asked permission to conduct the study. Second, the construction, validation, and pilot testing of instrument. Third is the data gathering. Fourth is the analysis and interpretation of gathered data. And lastly is the construction of proposed in-service training enhancement. The following are the data analysis procedure: statistical tools, mean, standard deviation, one-way ANOVA, thematic analysis. And for the result, as an entire group, the extent of adherence of Mapeh teachers on spiral progression approach in general and in terms of teaching strategies, approach, and assessment was very high. When classified according to educational attainment, the extent of adherence to spiral progression approach of Mapeh teachers with master's and doctorate units in general, and in terms of teaching strategies, approaches, and assessment was very high. Furthermore, respondents with master's degree have high adherence to spiral progression approach in general, and in terms of teaching strategies, approaches, and assessment. When classified according to length of service, all groups showed a very high adherence to spiral progression approach in general, and in terms of teaching strategies, approaches, and assessment. Results shows that there is no significant difference existed in the extent of spiral progression approach adherence of Mapeh teachers when they are classified according to length of service. However, a significant difference was noted when respondents were classified according to highest educational attainment. As for the qualitative data analysis, we have here the factors influencing the implementation of spiral progression in teaching Mapeh and the learner's focal point of teaching-learning process. Teachers, facilitator of learning. This shows that teachers have a strong adherence to spiral progression approach as they showed strong compliance and being idealistic in following the recommended curriculum. The output of the research is the proposed in-service training for teachers. Rationale. Training plays an important role in improving the quality of education in schools. It comes in a solution to lack of performance of the teachers or when there is a need to effect change in the way things have been done. Furthermore, training programs play a crucial role as it is through training that teachers' skills and attitudes can be changed for their own betterment. Therefore, training programs are of vital importance to teachers to pass on the latest innovations in teaching methods, strategies, and new curricula. Objectives. The proposed training program aims to achieve the following goals: to increase the teacher's ability to achieve the goals that are set by Department of Education, to help build their subject matter content and proficiency in teaching Mapeh through inquiry, and to equip Mapeh teachers with content knowledge of the spiral progression approach and maximize the use of spiral progression approach in Mapeh teaching. On matrix form is the proposed in-service training for teachers, which includes activities, topics, strategies, persons involved, time frame, and expected outcome. Mapeh teachers were found to be doing what is required by the curriculum. In a systematic curriculum, implementers conform with its procedures laid down by the curriculum makers. It is further concluded that despite some difficulties, teachers were still able to address issues concerning its implementation. Upgrading knowledge of teachers in implementing the spiral progression approach was also found to be effective because of their very high level of adherence in terms of strategies, approaches, and assessment used in teaching Mapeh. Moreover, master teachers play a busy role in school. They are usually the department chairpersons, coordinators, which had also influenced how they adhered to SPA. Considering the learners and the teachers as elements of a curriculum helps implementers to adjust and cope with any concerns regarding SPA implementation. As the focal points of curriculum, they play a very big role in the success of implementation. Implications. For theories, the results showed that Mapeh teachers embraced and put this theory into practice. In fact, Mapeh subject provides opportunities for holistic development which can be acquired through activity-based teaching learning. For practice, Mapeh teachers need to implement and adhere to spiral progression approach because they have the direct connection with the learners. They are greatly challenged along the way. Like most teachers experience, Mapeh teachers also did their best to provide quality education despite the challenges. Despite it, they innovate despite the lack of facilities. They design contextualized curricula in favor of the characteristics of their learners. All in all, they see to it that the learners are provided with quality Mapeh education. Arising in the educational institutions. Academic institutions should continue to support the programs and projects of DepEd. With their linkage, teachers are also supported in their endeavor. Curricularists should always conduct consistent monitoring and the implementation of the curriculum as their basis for the curriculum reforms and development. Future researchers should conduct researches in a wider scope to support the claims of this study. References used in the conduct of this study.